guys, it's Kathy and I'm back with another process video, and this one is using a cut file from the Just Knit cut file shop, and I can't remember if it's called the Festive Wreath or Wreath Ring, but they're both quite similar looking, so I downloaded both and I can't remember which one I ended up using. But I cut it out of white cardstock, and then I created a photo collage in Photoshop and turned it into a circle and cut it out as you saw right there, and I just kind of eyeballed making my wreath have an inner, like an inside of about 8.5 inches or so, and that was about the size of the circle that I made. So just kind of I didn't do a whole lot of measuring or anything like that, and basically this is just a big collage picture of the decor that I have going in my house right now, of the two major areas where I have displays set up. So there's one in the living room and there's a large shelf in my dining room with a whole bunch of stuff on it. And I just thought it would be fun to record that. I often take pictures of my decor or my favorite pieces for the year, and I forget to actually document it. So I really loved the mix of vintage and kind of bright colors and stuff that I have going on this year. So I just felt I needed to record it, and both areas where the displays are set up are against like a very dark gray wall. So they kind of pop, but they do make it kind of a dark photo as well. So I wanted to keep everything else going on light. So the background paper is from crepe paper. It's from Fa La La La. It's a slight off-white. And then, of course, there's the floral wreath. And I know I'm covering up some of the stuff by using the floral wreath. But the whole idea is just to kind of get the gist of the pictures. I don't have to have every single thing showing. And originally I wasn't going to do any kind of mixed media in the background, and then I decided to mist in the background underneath the wreath, and it's not perfect. You can see that there's more mist on the bottom than on the top, that type of thing, but that's kind of the thing with mixed media, is it's not going to be perfect. So I like how it turned out. It did take a little while to dry. I used my heat gun and kind of time elapsed it. So it is dry now. I didn't pop anything up on foam yet. The picture is glued right to the paper, and so is the wreath, and I didn't glue every single piece of the wreath down. I wanted to be able to move pieces in and out, and because the colors of my new collection match so well with the colors of my decor, I figured this would be a perfect opportunity to use up some more of the printables that I had made and printed out. So these are the high quality ones that I printed with photo paper, and I really wanted to use that peacock, and I wanted to kind of intersperse it, and it looks quite lovely where it is, and I end up getting glue on it, and so I don't end up using it. I decide in the end to go a little bit more, I don't know, whimsical. Not that a peacock isn't whimsical, but the colors are very, it's a much more elegant looking piece than the rest of what I've got going on. So that's why I decided to switch it up. But I knew I wanted to use the ornaments for sure. And then I wanted a large piece up top and a large piece down below. And I really liked how that narwhal fit in there. I thought he just kind of tucked in there perfectly. So that's when I decided that I'm going to use something different. Well, that's when I realized my peacock has glue all over it. And so I decided to use my flamingo because he's got the striped the striped legs, and the narwhal has the striped horn. So I really wanted to use that Noel tag, which is from Fa La La La. I know it sounds so weird when I say that because I'm always in my head going Fa La La La. It's kind of like the same, like, don't tell me that you don't think through and like phonetically say Wednesday when you're trying to spell it, like Wednesday. It's kind of the same thing for me. I have to really think about saying that phrase. So it never sounds right when I say it because I'm always thinking it as I'm doing it. it did take me a little while to decide where I wanted to put the ornaments, and that was just because I wanted to intersperse them. I didn't want too many pink beside pinks. I wanted to make sure that they kind of tucked in properly, and I was also going to cut apart the phrase die cut that I have that says fa la la la, fa la la la. There we go. Sounds a bit better now. I was going to cut it apart and separate it into four different pieces. So I was going to intersperse it amongst the ornaments as well. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now, is just getting it cut down. So all I did was trim around so that it still had a white outline. It's not perfect, but it worked well enough. So I'm not including any of the little hyphens because I don't need them for this particular layout. So obviously I'm just not saving them. They're just hyphens. So you can see that I am cutting, ooh, something fell in my craft room. You can see that I am cutting my wreath to be able to tuck things underneath. Mostly because I just didn't want it just sitting on top of the wreath. Some of them are, and some of them are tucked in a little more. And I didn't want anything coming up too far or down too low. So it was all kind of just humming and hawing and moving things around till I liked how it looked. And I really liked that tag sticking out. It's kind of a grounding piece. Like, it is grounding the whole layout down to the bottom, which is always something I try to do. I do want to counteract it with a little something in the top right-hand corner. So I am going to use some stickers from the same collection, that same crepe paper collection. But other than that, I don't think I really used too much else. And originally I didn't put a title in. And I was like, oh, well, the title's just going to be fa la la la. And then I realized that I already did that title on a layout that I made for this series. So it's not like it was repeating a title that I did years ago and what's the big deal. I just did that. So I have to switch it. I had the Maggie Holmes Carousel pom-poms sitting around. I used them for some product shots for my digital lines. So I had them in a little container by me, and I thought, oh, they would be so cute on top. The colors are perfect. I just glued them down with glossy accents. And I think one didn't end up sticking the first time, and I ended up having to restick it. But I did leave them and let them sit for a bit, because those are the kind of things, like, I remember being a kid and using pom-poms, and you have to sit and let them dry, because if not, they're just going to come right up off. I tried to say apart and off at the same time, so right up off. That's not what I meant to say. So I'm off looking for whatever else it is I can use, apparently. There we go. I'm trying to find out what I want to use for that top corner. And I was going through my ephemera pack for Christmas. One of them, I have a few, what do you call it, little storage totes that I have that are full of Christmas ephemera. But this is when I just end up using the sticker sheet. And I just put two little banners there. I thought it was cute. It's not as heavy, but it doesn't really need to be, because it's just kind of an accent. And there were these little holly stickers as well, and I thought they looked adorable, and they went well because, you know, it is a wreath after all. And one says Merry Christmas and one says Ho Ho Ho, and the Merry Christmas one is the same kind of plaid as the Noel tag, so that worked. And then I had my pins, like my those pearl topped pins, just kicking around on my desk in a package, and I suddenly decided that I was going to use them. That's kind of the thing when I'm scrapbooking, is I don't have a solid plan, and often if there are things just kicking around on my desk, I go and grab them and I use them. And these used to be really popular. People were using them all the time, and then people stopped using them, and then they're still using them from time to time. But I decided, well, they're there and they're cute, and I can stick them right in the foam that's in the back. So it works out perfectly. So I made sure that the colors were dispersed enough. Like the red and the green weren't together. Red and blue and like green and pink were together, that type of thing. I did a little bit more droplets around it, but not a whole lot. I didn't need a whole lot. So there's not a whole lot of extra mist kicking around this layout. There's plenty already. And I had I have two different types of baker's twine, and one was like a thicker one and one was a thinner one. So I used my thicker one for this particular layout in the red. I was looking for my black baker's twine, but I couldn't find it. So I went with this one. And this is when I realized, oh, hey, my my pom-pom fell off. And second, I don't have a title. So I wrote Deck Those Halls. Instead of just Deck the Halls, I wanted something a little bit funkier because this is a really kind of funky type Christmas layout. And yes, I am going to stick the stickers right down on it. And they're not really going to cover up anything that's going to be terrible. Like I'm not missing out on a whole lot by doing this. So I am sticking them down right on the photo, and I am able to move them a little just to make sure that they are lined up fairly well. And these I think are a Maggie Holmes thicker from forever ago, and it's a blue sparkle, and I haven't used it, and I don't think I've ever used it, so I was glad I got a chance to use it. And yeah, that is it. That's the whole layout. I actually really like it. It was fun to do a whole bunch of collage photos. It was fun to do a large photo and do a wreath and do a circular layout and all that fun stuff. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!